Hi, my name is Dr. Simona Barbu and I teach cello and bass at University of North Dakota. I am here to talk about the bass audition materials for the Philharmonic. I'm just going to talk about the scales and the excerpts that are listed on the website. The first scale, as it's written in the printout that you can have, it's a 1 octave D major scale. I wanted to note a couple of things. One is that is a half note at the value. So you have to have 2 clicks in your mind as you play every note. And the very last note of the scale is actually double longer than that. So that it adds up to a whole note. Also that you have 1 shift towards the end from B natural to a C sharp. Pay attention to the accidentals. You have 2, or actually the key signature, you have 2 sharps, F and C sharp. And it should sound something like this. One thing that I forgot to mention, make sure that your bows are long and the sound is beautiful. This is why we are asking sometimes for longer notes to play the scales and not just fast ones. So here is a rendition of the D major scale. Make sure you always find your first finger. Even when you record, it's okay to just show that you're finding your first finger, and then you start and everything is clean. 1, 2. How that last note was much longer. The second scale is B flat major, and I advise you, since there are no fingerings on this excerpt, on this handout, to start with a 1 on the B flat, which is half position for bass, and you stay in that position all across until you finish the scale. The B flat will be on your 4th finger, so you have a 1, 4, open, 1, 4, open, 2, 4. So the A will be with a 2. So this scale is in quarter notes, so it's a little faster. Now they do want you to play a little faster, so you show that you can play faster notes. And then the last note, again, it's double as long, so it's in this case a half note. So I find my B flat and I start the scale. 1, 2, ready, go. So the first excerpt is the tragic overture. The quarter note is 1/12, but I recommend that if you don't feel comfortable with such a fast tempo, that you take slightly slower, that you aim more for accuracy, so for playing in tune and playing the right rhythm and the right articulation rather than just going fast and not being accurate. The key signature is B flat, so no sharps. The beginning section, I would finger it this way with a 4 on the upper D and a 1 on the C natural and a 1 on a B natural, and across I put G sharp on a 4. So 4, 1, 1, 4, and then 2 for F natural to go down to the first position. 2 other articulation notes. Please note that starting in measure 3 and also measure 25, so the 3rd measure of the excerpt, we start having these dots on top of the notes, which means you have to have the notes a little more crisp with slight separation in between the notes, so don't drag the bow in between. And the next note that I was gonna make, it's in measure 29, where we have some accents. So you actually have to make the beginning of those notes with accent. There are only 4 of such notes. This is the G, a really nice beginning, and then the remaining of the note doesn't have to be so loud. I would recommend when you start the excerpt that you find your D, check with the open D, and set a tempo that is comfortable to you, not too slow but not too fast. And it should sound something like this. The second excerpt, Dance of the Tumbler, you only have to play the top part. The quarter note is 120, which is a bit fast, so I would advise again that you don't go too fast. The articulation, especially on the eighth notes, it's very short and crisp, so that would be really, really short and crisp. Where you have the quarter notes at letter A, you have some accents, so a really strong, hard beginning and then release, but not short notes, just hard beginning. So and then you go back to really short, crisp eighth notes. At letter M, make sure that the first note, the last note of this line is only an eighth note. That's something to make sure you don't go too long on the last note of that. And then between M and N, you have a long rest. You don't have to count it all. You don't have to wait for 9 measures, almost 10 measures. You can just wait for a couple of measures or something like that until you're ready to start the next excerpt. And one more thing, the last note is a plucking note, so a pizzicato on the G. I would advise that you find your lower G by playing the top G. Make sure the low G is high enough. We tend to play it kind of low. Also, the key signature does not have any sharps or flats, so make sure you don't play any C sharps. Those are the ones that it's easy to play. Yes, you have an accidental towards the end, an F sharp, but other than that, it's all naturals. The excerpt should sound something like this. Down, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now fortissimo. The last note was metaphor, that's why I didn't grab it very hard. I hope these tips will help you, and I wish you good luck with the audition. Have a good day.